On her first day at the agency, she didn't know she was stepping onto a chessboard where smiles were traps and meetings were battles. She grew up in Surulere, sitting across a small wooden table while her father taught her chess. He never rushed his moves. He would tap the board and say, "Watch carefully." The board would always tell you the truth. Years later, in a big advertising firm on Adeola, Odeku, Lagos, she remembered those words. The office was loud. Everyone talked fast. Ideas flew around like currency. She was young and smart, but in that place, youth was treated like a pawn, useful but easily ignored. Her father once said, "Every game starts with pawns, but pawns decide how the game ends." When a major multinational brand announced a big pitch, she worked day and night. She studied people, trends, and stories. She built a strategy that felt fresh and honest. She shared her work with a senior colleague she trusted, believing she was protecting her king. She was wrong. During the internal presentation, he stood up confidently and presented her idea as his own, word for word, slide for slide. The room nodded, her heart sank. Then her father's voice returned. When someone moves too fast, they've exposed themselves. She didn't fight. She didn't shout. She simply pulled her pieces back and watched the board. That was when she noticed someone others ignored, a quiet data analyst who always sat at the corner. Her father used to call that piece the knight, silent but dangerous. She partnered with him. Together, they rebuilt the pitch, adding deeper insight and strong data. She allowed the senior colleague to enjoy his early lead. Her father taught her this too. Sometimes you sacrifice a rook to trap the queen. On pitch day, the client asked difficult questions. The senior colleague stumbled. That was her moment. Calm and steady, she stood up and explained the thinking behind the idea. Not loud, not rushed. The room changed. Check. The client asked one simple question. Who developed this strategy? Silence filled the room. She answered softly. The truth stood on its own. Checkmate. They won the account. Her role in the company changed. People who once ignored her now listened. The pawn had reached the end of the board. That evening, she went home and sat across from her father again. They set up the chessboard. He smiled and said, "You finally learned. Winning is not about power. It's about patience." In life and office politics, those who understand strategy, patience, and timing will always outlast loud ambition.